Well, good morning, church. Welcome to the musing for May 18th. My name's Dave, and I'm glad you're here. I was thinking about God stuff the other day, and I read some things about the Ten Commandments. And this idea was presented, and I want to share it with you. If someone were to ask you to list the Ten Commandments, you would easily get several of them right away. God's big list of thou shalt nots has some very obvious stuff. Murder, don't do that. Stealing, lying, adultery, those are all no-nos. Now you might have to think a little, but you would probably get at least a couple of those first four. The no other gods, honor the Sabbath day, that stuff. But I bet the last one you would come up with is, appropriately, the last one. Thou shalt not covet. And maybe that's because there's something different about this one. The first 9 are about behaviors. Killing, stealing, lying, swearing, idolatry. But coveting is not a behavior. Coveting is a state of mind. We can be feeling all proud of ourselves for managing to not kill anybody, for not putting up a statue of Moloch in the garage, and for not robbing a liquor store. And then God comes along with good old number 10 and we're in trouble. Because here's the thing. Coveting is sneaky. It's not particularly visible to the neighbors, and it's not all that visible to ourselves. And it's all inside our hearts. Coveting is me wishing that I had what God gave somebody else. It's me saying that God didn't do right by me, that I'm unsatisfied with the life that He gave me. And when I think that way, His blessings start to seem smaller. His providence starts to seem lacking. Here I am looking at everybody else's life and comparing it to my own, and I like theirs better. And I can become so focused upon what I don't have that I lose the joy of what I do have. Hey God, thanks for all your so-called blessings, but I think you forgot a few things. And all the time, covetousness undermines my happiness. I become dissatisfied, and then resentful, and then bitter. And my envious comparisons spread into other aspects of my life. And it's buried at the root of other transgressions. After all, stealing doesn't start with a theft. It starts with the desire to have something that isn't yours. That's covetousness. Infidelity doesn't start with an affair. It starts with wanting a partner you don't have. Covetousness. As I said, the other commandments are about behavior modification, but covetousness is about the heart. And that makes it serious because, as we know, God is all about that heart stuff. He doesn't just want us to behave rightly. He wants us to think rightly, to recognize His blessings, to see His sufficiency, to become the sort of people who can be happy with what we have because we trust the one who gave it to us. Now that probably doesn't mean that you will never notice what someone else has, but it does mean that you will not be consumed by comparing. You will not let someone else's situation determine how you feel about yours. And when that happens, dissatisfaction will give way to gratitude, and envy will be replaced with contentment. We need to realize that God gave you what He gave you for reasons. And you don't have to know why. You just have to trust Him. God bless you all.